As I think ahead to hopefully leading the state of Ohio as the next governor, if I'm given that honor, the number one thing I'm actually worried about is a looming electricity crisis in our state, an electricity shortage, a power shortage, ultimately underlying that, an energy shortage. And it's really a shame because our state is naturally endowed with great natural resources. We're like the Saudi Arabia of natural gas when it comes to our region in the United States of America. And yet, right now, we're seeing an AI data center boom and more demand on our electric grid at a time when baseload power generation, principally powered by coal and natural gas, are as thin as they've ever been. And if you look at the projections, it looks like in the summer of 2027, we're going to be facing rotating blackouts, rotating power outages in the state of Ohio, which I think is utterly unacceptable in the first world United States of America. And I'm worried about that because the first year that I would take office would be in January of 2027. If we're looking at rotating power outages that summer, that's unacceptable to me. I'm not in charge yet, but it does take a head start to make sure that we turn the train in a different direction off the track that we're actually on. And that requires a cultural change in our state that embraces the natural resources we have, getting them out of the ground and actually using them, rather than the culture of restrictionism that I think has pervaded this state and this region and so much of our country for too long. Get the natural gas out from underneath our ground. Get the red tape out of the way. For God's sake, we're a red state, not a state of red tape. It shouldn't take 36 months to get a new permitting timeline for a permit issued for natural gas pipeline construction. It should be 6 months or less. Same thing for building new power plants. Far more cumbersome today than it was even in past decades. These aren't nature-made problems because nature has been kind to Ohio. God has blessed our state with every gift we could wish for to be the state that leads the United States of America back to greatness. But these are man-made problems that demand man-made solutions. I'd love for our state to be one that rolls out the red carpet to developers of small modular nuclear reactors, the next generation of nuclear technology, not just yesterday's nuclear reactors, but the small modular reactors of the future, to bring them to areas that are powering the AI data centers in our state, to make our electric grid deeper and more resilient in supporting Ohioans without that risk of rotating blackouts. That's what I want for our state, and I do think it's important to be very honest with our electorate, many of whom may not be aware yet of the looming risk that we're actually facing. And I don't blame the people who came before me. I'm not that kind of leader. Ultimately, if I'm leading this state, that buck stops with me. But in preparing for that, we got to actually educate the people of this state and in our region what kind of risk we're facing. Because complacency and just the status quo right now isn't going to cut it. We're going to have to unleash an energy boom of a kind that this state has never seen to hopefully lead the country, which is exactly where I want to be. We'll have more to say on that soon.